This is my studio, my second home. It's spacious, it's light-filled, it's everything I dreamed of when I was younger. But when I first moved to New York, I didn't even have my own bed to sleep on.
I remember distinctly taking my car to the financial district to pick you up and bring a bunch of your stuff. You had a big duffel bag and some rolled up artwork and some other things. You didn't have that much stuff.
Just to get to America, just to get to New York, I spent all of my savings from Japan on immigration lawyers. And what they got me was an O1 artist visa. Immigration law is complicated, but the point is legally I had to be an artist. I thought I would come to New York and just have work, and I thought I would just have projects, and I thought, I would just have money. I just thought things would work out.
Here you are thrown into a jungle of artists competing for attention. You didn't really know anybody, in that city.
You're sort of big in Japan, right? But that doesn't mean that much in New York.
Because my visa was so limited, I couldn't just go out and get a part-time job to support myself. That meant I was broke. I was so broke that for the first year and a half, I was stuck sleeping on friends' couches. So broke that I couldn't afford the subway.
That's the point when you can get really deep into your art, because that's the way of turning off the world. My whole sense with Shantell is if it doesn't work, draw more.
I knew if I was ever going to make it in New York, I would need to get focused.
Every morning, you bring out a huge drawing pad, and you're very disciplined about it. You plan your entire week and your entire day, then you execute.
I was using whatever resources I could get my hands on, like my apartment windows.
I think you pointed the projector out the window into another building, and you started drawing, and people on the street were cheering.
I didn't have that much space, but my friends did, and they opened up their doors to allow me to perform.
So my eyes were just so wow, open that I just started tearing because I wasn't blinking at all.
And I remember dancing in the window with, your Hindora projection and seeing that from the outside and that moment. And it's okay, this is here, this is happening. If I believed in nothing, I believe in that. I believe in magic.
Something else I had access to, my bedroom walls.
I remember the unfolding of your story there with your room in Brooklyn being shown in the New York Times and the launching pad for your success there.
You've always just kind of seemed like Shantell to me. You've always sort of been that superstar. I think just the rest of the world hadn't met you yet.
In an instant, millions of people had been exposed to my work. After that, my phone rang a whole lot more.
3, 2, 1.
I have my first solo show at the Mercader Museum in Brooklyn. I'm invited to be a visiting scholar at MIT. I made art with printed circuit boards and did a 50-foot mural. I released my first colouring in book. I'm on late night television.
And she drew all over the walls here.
I signed a lease on my first studio. I start building a brand. The following. I do a window installation for Tiffany & Co. I'm in a commercial during the Oscars. Make something you can share. I just keep drawing, and one collaboration leads to another and another. I have a clothing line with Puma. I'm working with Google to draw with augmented reality. I'm flying to Paris to launch a line of sunglasses with Max Mara. I MC a night at the Boston Ballet. How do we support women artists, period? I collaborate with everyone from my grandmother to Kendrick Lamar. And finally, to top it all off, I have my own solo show at the Albright Knox in Buffalo. And I kid you not, they were taking down Picasso's to make room for it. To think how far I've come from Thamesmead. It's crazy. As the work started to get bigger, my style evolved. I'd gone from tiny accordion notebooks to an 8,000 square foot canvas.
You know how Picasso had a blue period and a yellow period? I think you have a line weight period. Your very first period, which was when you had your little moleskins in Tokyo, those are like wispy little thin lines period.
At first, the line became thicker out of necessity, just to fill the wall. But as I continued to scale up, I was beginning to open a new chapter in my style.
I really did enjoy photographing your work because it seemed to be an effort to record a progression of language or something.
The more I understand myself, the more comfortable I'm becoming with space in my drawing. I'm going to take a little bit of a break, kind of soak up the shapes and the lines that I have here. And because of that space, I'm relying more on the strength of the line itself instead of the details and the scenery.
The questions you ask aren't puzzles, right? They're like fundamental existential questions, and you never find an answer because there isn't such an answer.
No matter how much my art has evolved, the question at its core has stayed the same. Who are you? And by repeating it over and over and over again, a seed is being planted. A seed to help you think about life without labels. A seed to help you think about what life really means to you. A seed to help you think about life. So if you remember some time ago I asked you a question, and by now you've had some time to think about it. And so I'm going to ask you this question one last time. Who are you?